of app developers might not know it, but anyone who's done full stack, anyone who's worked in data, they all know SQL. They might not like it, but they all sort of know it, even all the business people do. So in 2019, just before the advent of COVID, Jeff came up with this idea, and we started developing it. Actually, just purely with Google, without worrying too much about the other clouds, because we were working in the Google space extensively at the time. So we just took the Google Discovery documents and figured out a way to parse them. All we did was rip off or fork this product called Vitesse, which is a MySQL sharding abstraction, which has a SQL parser written in Golang, and then just gutted out the back end and turned it into something that would translate the front end syntax-free into a bunch of service calls against Google. So that sort of worked, and we're surprised at how quick we were able to stand that up, especially when, I don't know if you knew, but Melbourne, Australia, where I was living at the time, had one of the longest lockdowns in the world during that period. So I was up all night going crazy. I was living alone in an apartment. Eventually I got to Sydney where my partner was living, and we were stuck together in an apartment, which honestly wasn't much better, but long lockdowns, lots of spare time, not sleeping well, nothing better than a hobby project you tick it off. So it soon became a bit more than a hobby, and it still is. So I probably shouldn't go on too long. We went into an incubator, a cybersecurity incubator called Cyrise, and one of the leaders of that incubator, a guy called Scott Handsaker, who I'm massively indebted to, really drilled into us this cliche, which, what did he say? He just said, radical transparency. Always be radically transparent. So I'm going to try and be radically transparent with you guys today and really honest about where we're at, some of the good stuff that we've done, but also some of the challenges that we're facing. So you'll get to hear about all of it. Oops. Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned, we've got a really strong community focus. Our product's open source and free. We've got a bunch of other dependency libraries which we also maintain, which are open source and free. Many of them are forked from other original works by other individuals and groups, and we fully acknowledge all of them. And all our stuff's MIT licensed. It's going to stay that way for as long as I've got anything to do with it. So. You talked about going a bit too long. Tooling and function over products and services. So we're not really in this to sell stuff. We definitely want to grow StackQL itself as an effort. We want to make money doing what we do at the same time, but it's more of a community effort than a for-profit, that's for sure. And you'll probably see a lack of business focus in some of what I talk about. So why did we choose Golang? Well, it was really, I think for me, Jeff suggested it because there was two reasons. One was the really nice networking libraries, which were low overhead, easy to pick up, easy to use, even for someone who didn't have much experience with Golang at all at the time. And also, I was really sick of writing Spring Boot apps, which I've just been doing for the last several years solid. So I just thought, yeah, great. I'm ready. I've had a great time with Spring Boot and Java, but I'm ready for a break. So off I went. Sweet. So this QR code, this is if I do have a sales pitch, and an ulterior motive in giving this talk, is that we really want as many GitHub stars as we can get. So if you guys can find it in your heart, that QR code goes to our main core open source repository. You can please visit that one and give us a GitHub star. We'd be much appreciating that. Cool, not doing too bad for time. Alright, let's continue. Yeah, this is me. That's just my LinkedIn. Some of these slides I'm just putting in here because when the talk is distributed, you can have it. And if you want to have a chat about anything, yeah, just hit me up. LinkedIn's the best social. I just reinstalled Instagram so I can enjoy all the lovely photos from today. But LinkedIn's the only social I really use. Just hit me up if you want to chat about anything. It's whatever it might be. Especially if you find a fault with StackQL and you think you really should do this instead of this. That's the stuff I want to hear. Cool. So, enough of the fluffy background, and we'll get into the hard-nosed stuff, and I'll start doing some demos, and hopefully the gods are with me, but then you can see the warts and all reality of what StackQL is. So the core premises, the core premise of StackQL, we don't want to have a huge amount of dependencies, and especially we don't want to have a huge amount of dependencies on companies that wind up in this sort of profit-taking phase where they change licenses and things like that. I wouldn't say too much about that, but definitely we're pretty picky and choosy about which third-party things we either fork or consume. Like I said, we don't want people to have to learn a new dialect or a new language to use StackQL. If you know SQL, it should be pretty intuitive how to start using it. There are some minor differences, much like there are different aspects to some of the different RDBMSs, like the Postgres dialect's a bit different to the MySQL, different to SQLite, whatever the Microsoft one's called, SQL Server. They all have different extensions. For instance, they all have extension functions, but they've pretty much all got different extension functions for routine stuff like handling JSON and things like that. They all do it, they just do it differently. But they do serve the main standard pretty faithfully. We try and be like that. We used to have a duck on this slide, but we want to quack like a duck that is an RDBMS. So we do have an all-in-one mode, so you can just I'll show you this. I won't talk about it much, but I'll show you what the different modes of operation look like for StackQL. You can run it on any system. Our CI works where we just run builds and create artifacts for all the major, for the 3 major operating systems and different hardwares. And Docker as well. So they're all first-class citizens to us, and it's not a great deal of fun to maintain some of that stuff through all the upgrade cycles, but we do it because we believe that's important, that anyone and everyone should be able to access this and use it free of charge on any platform they choose. Cool. So treat it how you want to. I'll sort of play a bit into, that sounds good when I say, look, do whatever you want with this tool, it's a powerful tool, but it kind of does speak to a bit of a lack of focus and a lack of business purpose in some of where we're going, but you'll see that, right? So this is the radical transparency I hope I'm putting across. Cool. So this slide isn't very pretty, right? So I won't keep it up here for long, but this is really just so that if you do want to download this, I'm sure the organisers will distribute the chat. If you don't get it, you can hit me up. You just can access all of these. These are the main dependencies that we maintain that serve up, that support StackQL. Because StackQL itself, if you like, is very much of a SQL abstraction upon a lot of functionality that can be shared to other problem domains. So therefore, a lot of the different aspects are split out into separate libraries. Cool. So now this definitely is not pretty. Now, do I have? Oh yeah, the laser pointer. Oh yeah, I'm not aiming very well. I can't shoot very well. Oh, it doesn't show up. Okay, cool. So this is just some of the idea of the inner workings of StackQL. Won't speak to too much of it, but some of those things I was just talking about, some of those dependency libraries, you'll see up here. So here's the parser. Now, initially, like I was saying before, initially there was Vitess, and we just forked Vitess. This parser is still descendant. It's like a broken fork, if you like. It's a fork that will never re-merge or sync back to Vitess, and it's pared back a fair bit. It's got a lot of our extensions in it, but we're forever grateful to those guys. We actually met one of the major developers for the early years of Vitess, so really nice fella, very, very smart. Well, much smarter than me, that's for sure, because doing all that was not easy. We have I'll get to what this one over here does, but this is quite important. Because as it happens, StackQL, the core part of StackQL is able to leverage, where are we? Where's my main one? And probably the most important one, where are you? Where's it? Oh, whoops, I don't know. Alright, it's okay. Go, step back. Where did I put you? Oh, this one. Yeah. This thing over here, this library, NESDK, has a lot of different componentry within it. But fundamentally what it does is, it takes a bunch of interface definition documents. Right now these are written in markup like YAML or JSON, and all they really have is a description of what type of interface we're looking at, like whether it's a REST interface, whether it's GraphQL, whether it's some local service or process that I'm going to talk to over standard streams, whether it's something that I'm going to talk to over some other protocol, and then describes what the different touch point, the different exposed interfaces, functions, if you like, would look like. And how to send, how to send data and how to receive data. The main bread and butter is web services, but we also do other stuff. Like we do pass through the databases. We do talk to local processors as well. We're building that out. We're going to be doing other stuff there soon. We're a bit not hamstrung, but we're energetic guys. But there's only two main contributors. There's a few others who contribute here and there, but getting through the checklist of all the stuff we want to do, we're not always totally up to date with that. So, other thing I should mention is recently, and this is what I'm going to talk about a bit today, we've added support for AI. So effectively what we did is we have a Postgres wire server, so you can talk to StackQL like it is just a Postgres database. It accepts a slightly different SQL dialect, but you can talk to it using all the same sort of client tools that you use for Postgres. So you can use libpq, or you can use any Postgres driver or a client library in any language. It doesn't matter. So that's kind of cool. In addition, we just use the Golang MCP SDK, and we've exposed MCP. It's actually pretty easy to do. We've pretty much ripped off a lot of the tooling that gets used by some of the MCP servers that wrap around relational databases, because remember, we want to quack like that duck. So LLM agents, we've written our own agent in Golang as well, are able to walk the whole StackQL hierarchy and then go and retrieve data, do mutating operations, whatever they want. So that's 14 minutes in. I reckon it's just about time for me to do a demo. Let me just see. Cool. Do you mind switch over to my screen share, please? To the meeting. Oh, can you switch over to the Google Meet? I don't know how to do it. Just wait a sec. Yeah, even when I'm talking, if you guys got something you want to ask, just yell out. I'm happy to answer halfway through the idea if that helps. I always encourage interruptions. It's all right. I'll keep talking. Just let me know once it's ready. Just break in. It's fine. It's all good. So do it when you can. Okay, cool. I'll give you a demo when the demo gods smile on us. Maybe I'm being saved from my demo failing hopelessly. So I'll give you a demo of what StackQL. Oh, hang on. What's going on now? Look at it. We are having some tech issues. Drops. So we're stuck on this screen at the minute. We'll just wait till that screen vanishes. In the meantime, I'll just talk about a couple of the ideas rather than, so take some time pressure off the back end of my talk so I can pack everything else into the demo. But look, the way our life cycle works is that we decide we want to add some new feature, right? We might be common CTEs, common table expressions, materialized views. These are all things that we've. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, now. Okay, cool. So I'm in the meeting. I'm offline. I've got it.